in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy and snowy good morning to you. I hope your day's going well for you, wherever you might be. A little bit on the cloudy side, a few flurries here and there. And here at Radio Center, Matthew Lester, we're looking at a little bit of snow out there. It does appear as though as we go through the remainder of the day that road conditions aren't really going to improve all that much, but we're not looking for any huge accumulation of snow. Maybe by the time we're all done in some areas, some of you might see about 4, possibly 5 inches of snow altogether, but that's going to be the exception and not the rule. The winter weather advisory is going to be up here shortly, and it'll be all the way through the nighttime hours into the early morning hours tomorrow morning. And by the time we're all said and done tomorrow morning, about 8, 9 o'clock, as I said, we should be looking at right around 3, possibly 4, and some of you looking at 5 inches of snow. The further south you get, the better chance of seeing that 4 and 5 inches. And along the Michigan border, wouldn't be a bit surprised if some folks pick up close to a half a foot of snow. What we have is 2 low-pressure systems working together. We'll tell you about that in just a second. But right now, Matthew, temperature-wise, what are we looking at?
Currently, over at the airport, it's cloudy at 24. Over in Midland, it's cloudy at 25. Here at Radio Center, it's cloudy at 23. We have south winds at 13 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 29.97, and it's falling.
We've actually got some sunshine to report this hour. It's down in the Detroit area. Detroit is currently reporting right around 27 degrees with partly sunny skies. You go a little bit further west of us over in Alma, you're looking at some light snow, and of course, light snow now being reported out at MBS International and here at Radio Center. Battle Creek, Benton Harbor, Coldwater, Holland, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Marshall, Muskegon, South Haven, Sturgis, in alphabetical order, all of them looking at light snow. Manistee is reporting some light snow as well as Traverse City. Upper Peninsula, a little bit of light snow. Kinross, Newberry, Manistee looking at some light snow. Sawyer Gwynn, Houghton, flurries over in Ironwood. But temperature-wise, we're all pretty steady in that low to mid 20-degree range, with the exception of, as I said, Detroit. Benton Harbor is currently at 26. We're looking at Beaver Island up north. They're talking 30 degrees right now. Again, that's a function pretty much of the temperatures of the water. Water still mild temperature-wise for this time of the year, above average for this time of the year. We are looking for the water to gradually decrease in temperature as we go through the next few weeks, because we're not anticipating too much in the way of warmer weather to be a part of our weather forecast. Matter of fact, now we're looking at the 23rd of June, or of January. June, oh boy, I hope not. January, we're looking at temperatures ranging below normal through that period of time. And then even after the 23rd, some of the longer range projections are saying we're going to finish off the month of January altogether below normal for this time of the year, which is a big change from what we had a year ago. And we mentioned that yesterday when we were broadcasting over at Horizons Conference Center. Matter of fact, a year ago, our high was 34 and our low was 30. And we picked up about 2.5 inches of snow a year ago today with those warmer temperatures, which is kind of interesting because here we are today on the 10th of January, and we're looking at a couple, 3, possibly 4 inches of snow in the forecast once again. By the looks of things, the low pressure system that's causing all of this really is the one down along the Gulf Coast. It started off in central parts of Mexico. It moved into Texas. Now it's situated over Mobile, Alabama. This low is eventually going to wind up in the Atlantic off the Carolina coast, so it's staying well to the south of us. But what it's doing, because it is as intense as what it is it's pushing a lot of warm, moisture-laden air up into the Tennessee Valley, the Ohio River Basin, and then eventually up here into Michigan, which is the reason why our high temperature for the day today should be 27, and our high tomorrow and Sunday should be in the low 30s. So what we're seeing is the warmer air with a lot of moisture clashing with the cooler air because we have a weak low pressure system situated just north of Lake Superior. So the two of them working together is what's generating the snow. It's not generating a lot of heavy, wet snow, and it's certainly not generating the amount of snow that you would think we would be getting from a southern low pressure system. What's going to be happening is we've got to have a little bit more of a different trajectory on a lot of these systems that are tracking from the west to the east. We need low pressure systems that are starting off in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and then heading in a northeasterly direction and winding up over either Lake Ontario or Lake Erie. So we're on the west side of it. That generates a southeast, then an east and a northeast wind with, again, drafting that moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. That's what generates the snow, the heavy amount of snow. We're not going to get that. We are going to have a clipper system that'll affect our weather late in the day on Sunday, Sunday night, and early Monday morning. But again, it's going to be a fairly dry system. Whatever snow we get is not really going to amount to much other than possibly the Monday morning commute being a little bit on the slick side as well. So again, reiterating, high of 27, a low only dropping down to 23. Sun will set this evening at 5:20. Rise tomorrow morning at 8:08. Tomorrow, clouds, a few flurries around. Low pressure system over South Dakota is going to be heading into northern Iowa tomorrow. It's not really going to affect us at all on Saturday. 31 our high, 18 for our low. Then on Sunday, snow showers late in the day. That system is going to be moving into the Iowa low, is going to be moving into and around Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That'll be late in the day on Sunday. 30 for a high, only dropping down to 27 for a low on Sunday night. And then on Monday, that Milwaukee low will be winding up over eastern Ontario. So it is going to be crossing the lower peninsula, cutting it right in half. We'll have some snow showers in the morning, but then as we go through the day, mostly cloudy. Upper 20s for a high, 10 for a low on Monday night because that low will be to the east of us and it'll be pulling much colder air down over top of us. Tuesday, a high of 20. Wednesday, low 20s. Thursday, mid-20s. Throughout the period, plenty of clouds, but very little chance of any precipitation. Matter of fact, we might even see a little bit of sun on Wednesday. Record high in the state is 55, set in 1975. Incidentally, 1975 was the warmest ever, 10th of January. 55 was our high, 35 was our low. The coldest ever was 1982, and that's where our record low sits. 8 below zero, that was set in 1942, and then tied in 1982. The coldest, January 10th, 1982, 1 was our high. 8 below zero was our low. And the most amount of snow on this date, you got to go back to 1987, 7 inches of snow on this day. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Gary Kaufman from Star of the West, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michelson Crop Insurance Agency. Now is the time to be talking to your crop insurance agent about what we should be expecting and what we should look forward to as we move into the new year. There's a lot of policy probably that hasn't been finalized yet, but it might be a very good idea to get a jump start and find out what you're going to have to do and what you're going to need as you move forward. Remember, being prepared is the key, and that's what the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency can do for you. Risk management, that's their job. Remember, they're licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. You can reach their agents directly on their cell for questions or emergencies, or you can call the office in Reese. It's 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, how are we looking?
Hey, good morning there, Terry. Well, we got kind of a mixed market. Wheat's down, and we got positives on the corn and beans so far here today.
Now, we got a report coming out. Is that today?
Yep. Yeah, we have the USDA they're saying it's just the biggest data release of the year, and the primary focus, Terry, is, on the most recent U.S. corn and soybean harvest, quarterly grain stocks, the winter wheat seedings, and then kind of a routine global supply and demand update, also going to be on the docket today. So yeah, it's a lot of data coming out. Some of the highlights of the report, Terry, they're looking at corn yield down about 0.4 of a bushel from the November report. Soybeans yield, there's looking for maybe a little bit of cut there too, but overall, the report ranges will be the factor. I mean, you got ranges, high-low ranges, and if they fall outside those ranges, you could see a little bit of fireworks, but not expecting any, but who knows? It is a USDA report. So
yeah, and again, they're all subject to revision as we go through the next few weeks after that too, aren't they?
Yeah, especially this is the early report on wheat seedings, as we move forward through the spring, and we'll get that final number, but their wheat seedings are thinking they're pretty flat from last year. What's going to be interesting is to break out the varieties, whether it's hard red, soft white, the different varieties, and on what they tally each and as a market as a whole for the U.S. So, but it's going to be fun here in about 15 minutes for sure. So potentially.
Well, I guess so. Now, I don't know. Have you any indication as far as the condition of the wheat crop, let's say, in the central part of the country? Has it been pretty dry there, or what's going on?
Well, I mean, across the middle part of the country, it's been good. Even the southwestern wheat area has gotten some good moisture of late. With a mix of rain, snow, kind of ice moving across parts of Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma in the past week. Even that's the hard wheat areas, even the soft red wheat areas of Missouri, Illinois, Arkansas are getting covered some, even early as today, you see that snowstorm coming across, giving a little blanket and some moisture. And, even though some of the past reports of the crop conditions has been down a little bit, so creating some concern in the winter wheat plantings, but, again, every year, Terry, we try to kill the wheat crop about 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We know that. So
yeah, we're off to a pretty good start right now.
Yes, we are.
As far as the corn goes, I'm very curious. Obviously, you guys last fall, you had corn coming out of your ears. Have we been able to move that inventory? Have we been able to sell some of it? What's the status on that?
Well, I think the biggest thing, the growers see this year, large corn crop, basis is pretty cheap from what we've had in the last 2 or 3 years. So, we've been able to move it. A lot more is being moved down into the southeastern part of the United States this year. Generally speaking, we try to support our local ethanol facilities in Michigan, which, and we have a few of those near us in our market area. But this year, a lot more is going to, because of the size of the crop, a lot more is going to be put on rail cars and moved to the southeast of the feeders. So.
Okay. And from what I understand, in southeastern parts of the country, they had some big problems, not only with the transportation, but also the herd size with those hurricanes going through there. It kind of changed the climate down in that part of the country when it comes to cattle numbers and getting the feed where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, there's definitely been some logistic issues, and maybe more so here this past bit than there has been. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we got a lot of product to move here over the winter months and into the spring to get ready, for the next crops to come in. So
yeah. So right now, what do you have on the board, Gary?
Yeah, Terry, let's call cash wheat down 5 at 509 on the white, 434 on the red. New crop also down 5 at 550 on the white, 465 on the red. Call cash corn up a penny at 387. New crop unchanged at 382. Cash soybeans leading the way this morning, up 9 now at 928, and new crop up 6 at 940.
You have a great weekend, Gary.
I will. You do the same. Thank you, Terry.
Will do. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth. What's going on in Chicago? Let's find out. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining us. The Market Report brought to you by Thumb Bank and Trust, making agricultural loans since 1895. They've got locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank and Trust relationships are built on trust, equal opportunity lender, and member FDIC. And the Market Report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. Those new Ram professional trucks and Ram heavy-duty trucks are ready for delivery. So buy them from a dealer that's a business link dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is. Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. Doug, good morning.
Good morning.
What are we looking at now?
Well, the jobs report came in strong, and that, you would think that's good, but that kind of puts the brakes on the Fed as far as rate cutting, and the stock market took that in very, very negative terms. So down 1.5% on the Dow, 1.6 on the S&P, and 1.9 on the NASDAQ. So a little bit ugly, a little bit bearish. I believe the Russell 2000 has already gone down 10% on the, on this move so far. Not today, but so far. So they're kind of sort of technically in bear territory. So with AI trading everything, you just never know where it goes. But it's a little bit ugly on the stock market today. The Dow's higher, of course, because they're not going to cut interest rates. So 109.75, that's up about 0.5%. That's not good, but remember what we said, 116 was the couple of years ago how high the dollar got. So, And crude oil's up about $1.50. Some more sanctions on Russian oil. We'll have to see where that goes. We don't know what's up with that. And Trump says he's going to open the export markets for natural gas in the U.S., so that might help that industry in the U.S. So we'll see. Anyway, so here's your numbers. The March corn is 4.58, up 2 cents. September corn 4.44.5, unchanged. March soybeans 10.05.5, up 6.5. September soybeans 10.14.25, up 4 3/4. The March wheat is 5.27 3/4, down 6 1/4. And September wheat 5.61.5, down 6 3/4. The crude oil is 74.92, up $1.68, and it was up about 2.50 this morning, so it's backing off a little bit. The heating oil is 246.19, up 8.4 cents. Gasoline is 205.95, up 3.1 cents. Natural gas is 336.20, that's up 12 1/4 cents. Over the currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.4330 Canadian, up 36 ticks. The dollar buys 157.64 yen, that's down 50 ticks. The euro is at 102.36, down 62 ticks. That continues to drop like a rock. And then against the dollar, of course, the dollar at 109.74, up 56 ticks. Precious metals mostly higher. Gold's at $27.2120, up $30.40. Silver's $31.12, up 23.5 cents. Platinum's $9.81, up $8.20. Copper's $429.85, down a penny.
Big move there.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, Wall Street is having a crazy day.
Yeah, crazy. And, it's the first 2 years of the Republican after the Democrat, which, kind of harkens back to Carter versus, Reagan. And, man, that first 2 years Reagan was in there, he struggled.
Yeah.
So, all bets are kind of sort of off.
Yeah, you don't know. But, of course, at that stage of the game, I think Reagan, his first turnaround was very similar to what Trump went through in 16. You really didn't have all the ducks in a row for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. This time, it looks like he's really trying to make some plans. So we'll see what happens. You have a nice weekend, Doug.
Okay, you too.
Right, talk to you later. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Your Dairyland seed dealer, Freeland Bean and Grain, carries a full line of corn and enlist soybean seed, which is proven weed control designed to get you a better harvest. Check them out today. Get a hold of Justin Varner at Freeland Bean and Grain. Remember, Dairyland seed, they've got seed with your name on it from your friends at Freeland Bean and Grain. Since 1983, we're serving you is their business. Coming up, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Chuck Cervinsky from Maple Hill Nursery.
All righty, let's touch base with Chuck right now. Chuck, good morning. How are you?
Hey, we've got a little light snow falling over here.
Yeah.
But other than that, hey, and maybe talk a little bit about winter pruning. I'm getting a lot of calls on that. And now's the perfect time to do some rejuvenation pruning on those trees and shrubs that may have gotten out of hand last season. Maybe that burning bush head is just 2 foot higher than what you want. Well, now's the time to take care of that. And if you prune now, it's going to cause less stress on trees and shrubs as they're dormant. And pruning doesn't stimulate growth like it does in the warm months. You might want to refrain from pruning things like dogwood, magnolia, crabapple as they flower in the spring, and pruning those now will remove flower buds for the upcoming spring. But again, if they're just too big and you don't care about that, now's the time to take care of it.
And again,
this holds true for what's that?
Yeah, holds true also for the flowering shrubs too. And from what I understand, you're talking about spring. You're beginning to get some spring merchandise in.
Yeah, stuff is starting to trickle in. The next 2 weeks will be pretty big for that, and with furniture and other goods. So even though it's January, hey, let's think spring.
You're sure. You have a great weekend, Chuck. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Chuck Cervinsky, Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. Let's take a break, and then coming up next, Matthew?
Up next, we have Stephanie Zelenko from AgroLiquid. But first, this.
The versatile Kubota B-Series is a do-it-all tractor. Run powerful attachments that can be easily switched out. It features a hydrostatic transmission and is simple to maintain. The Kubota B-Series. It makes the hard work look easy. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L-Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, 3001 Sawyer Drive along I-75 at the M81 Carroll exit just south of the Zilwaukee Bridge, Saginaw. Call Kim today at 989-754-7801 or email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
Along with us, Stephanie Zelenko with AgroLiquid. And Stephanie, those meetings are starting to pile up on the calendar.
They sure are. I've booked myself a couple of events here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Crop Summit, are you going to be there for that?
I am. I will be at Crop Summit as an attendee, not a presenter this year, but I will be walking around the trade show and attending the meetings with the other growers.
Of course, I hope you got your early registration discount in, because that ends today for the Great Lake Crop
It ends
Summit.
today.
Yeah.
Yep, ends today. And hotel rooms are the minimum. So if you planned on staying, those need to get wrapped up pretty quick.
Yeah, a lot of questions, a lot of folks attending meetings right now. Hot spots, one or two hot spots right now in the discussion would be what, Stephanie?
Probably the biggest thing people want to know is prices. You know, they want to know those grain prices, what we're going to look at next fall or come harvest, and then what are the input prices, so they can make those decisions now on what they have to buy in anticipation of what they're going to get almost a year from now.
Yeah. So obviously get a hold of your crop consultant or attend some of these meetings, and there's crop consultants going to be attending those meetings, right?
Yes, you know, it's a perfect opportunity just to network and socialize with those guys, get a feeling of what's going on in the marketplace, and find out, you know, from those meetings where you should be spending those dollars.
Very good. Stephanie, you take care. We'll see you at a few of them coming up, okay?
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Stephanie Zelenko with AgroLiquid. Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at High Fidelity Genetics. You know, finding ways in this market to put profit on the bottom line starts with saving half the cost of the seed before you even get started. High Fidelity Genetics offers non-GMO seed corn and soybeans that do qualify for organic production. High quality, high yielding seed at half the price, and the test plots prove it. High Fidelity Genetics will work for you. Go online for more information at highfidelitygenetics.com or call them at 515-434-7333. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coin in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. No punishment for President-elect Trump at the sentencing for his hush money conviction. He spoke to the New York courts from his Florida home.
This has been a very terrible experience. I think it's been a tremendous setback for New York and the New York court system.
Judge Juan Merchan has been a frequent target of Trump's verbal attacks.
It is the legal protections afforded to the office of the President of the United States that are extraordinary, not the occupant of the office.
Well, CBS's Weijia Jiang says Trump will take office in 10 days as a convicted felon.
That is going to be on his criminal record unless he is successful at appealing. And so this will hang over him throughout, the rest of his years.
A day after a federal judge rejected a Trump bid to stop the release of a portion